Good evening, guys. Going to tie another salmon fly here for you this evening. It is known as the Varvara shrimp fly. Quite a spectacular looking fly. Sorry, pardon me. This fly is well known for producing its best results last thing in the evening, just as the light's fading. And as I say, it's a really stunningly beautiful fly, really eye-catching. So it is. Before I go any further, the hook that I'm tying on is a partridge patriot, size 6 double. I'm using white tying silk, white unithread, size 8. What I've done there is I've just caught in a length of silver wire, just Vineyards French silver wire, size 26. Catch it in on the top of a shank, wind down, nice even touching turns, come all the way down until your tying silk is in line with, or sometimes I like to go just slightly beyond the point of the hook. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply a silver wire tag in there so the fly. I learned about this pattern from Mark McClune. Mark's a man I hold in the highest regard when it comes to salmon fishing and tying salmon flies. He's a real special talent. He really is. His patterns and the flies that he ties are just stunningly beautiful, and it's not only that. Mark is also a very keen salmon fisherman. So if Mark fishes with flies and he tells you let they work, then he means it, and he's not just tying flies for the sake of it, for them to look good. Mark's tying flies because he has the experience and the knowledge to know that the flies work. Also, the materials that I'm tying this fly with, guys, I've also got from Mark. Mark gets his own capes, dyes them, and the quality of them, especially for the money that you're paying for them, is absolutely fantastic. I've had a lot of people message me and contact me through Facebook and whatnot, and they're asking me where I'm getting my materials and that for the flies that I'm tying, and he's the man that I'm getting them from. The Met's genetic hen capes and that, the Fox and all that, I get it all from Mark. And you can contact him, guys. Drop him a message through Facebook, a private message. He's just got his business and that up and running, and honestly his materials and that are second to none. They really are. So sorry, I'll just catch you up there. What I did was got the silverware rib, wind down, formed the tag on the Ursula fly, pulled the silver wire through the gape in the hook, wound back down, and then came back down again. The reason we do that, guys, is to keep the uniform bulk in the body, so that you don't get any lumps and bumps when it comes to forming the body of the fly. Now, the body of this fly is what I'm using is unimiler paired tinsel, medium paired tinsel. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to keep, see the excess, I'm going to keep the excess the same length as the first half of the fly, and just wind down, just about around there. And as always, you want to use your first wrap to conceal your tying silk, and then come down the shank of the hook, nice even touch and turns. And as you can see, that paired wrapped over the white tying silk just gives a lovely, really beautiful shine, really beautiful effect. And you can already see why this fly performs so well as the light's fading. There we are. Just trim away your excess. I'll be able to still use that again, so I'm just going to I'll be able to use that for the front half of the fly. I'll lock that in my spring, and then just bring down your silver wire rub. 1, 2, 3 turns of your rub is plenty. That's 3 there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to tie that off there. Alright, and then just an extra turn or 2 just to secure it. And I'm going to trim away that excess. Now for the first hackle on the fly, and this is a white genetic hen cape. What I've done here, guys, is I've exposed the tip, I've trimmed it, and I've trimmed away the excess fibres on the tip. And again, what this does is it reduces the bulk on the fly. So I'm just going to lock that on there on the side. Come down maybe 4, 5, maybe 6 turns just to make sure that it's properly secured. Another way people like to do it is pull the top back and tie it on that way. It's entirely up to yourself what way you prefer doing it. That's just the way I prefer to do it. Get your hackle, get your scissors, and rub your scissors up the stalk of the hackle, and what you'll see is that it spreads the fibres nicely. With your finger and your thumb, tease the hackle fibres back. I hope you can see that, and then just begin to wind. I'm terrible for it. Whenever I'm watching back my own videos, I realise that my fingers are always in the way. Sometimes people can't see me actually wrapping the hackle, but I'm trying to fix that now. So that's 1 and 2, that's 2 full turns. And what I'm going to do, I'm only going to do one more full turn. There you have it. That's your third. And you'll see the way that spikes and flares. It does it beautifully. That's nothing to do with my tying skill, folks. It's the materials that I'm using. That's why that happens. Whenever you get to that stage, just bring your tying silk round, catch that, lock it in. At this stage, I like to just give it an extra 1, 2, and that's it secured. Just locate the excess, trim it away. And there you are. That's your first hackle. Now we come to the tail of the fly, and what this is just bucktail blended with 3 strands of paired krystal flash, white bucktail and paired krystal flash combined. So now the length that I'm looking for at the very minimum twice the length of the hook. So see around there, that's what you're looking for. Pinch it in your finger and your thumb, come up with your tying silk, form a pinching loop in between your finger and your thumb, pinch down, pull it in. Now don't pull too tight or securely yet, just a couple of nice wee loose turns, because what you want to do is you want to come back in, you want to check the way that that's sitting, you want to check the profile, make sure everything's alright. You want it sitting directly on top of that lovely white hen hackle. Whenever you're happy with it laying, maybe I could just make it slightly longer. Aye, there we are. Now I'm happy with that. So laying, come back in again, pinching it in your finger and your thumb, hold it securely, and then put in a couple of tight, secure and locking turns. Come on at the front, locate your excess and trim it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a couple of drops of super glue to my tying silk, and then I'm going to wind that super glue into the cut ends of the bucktail. That just gives you maximum security and hold. Just means that that's never going to slip, never going to go anywhere. And I just wind down, keeping the body again nice, uniform, and even. And there we are. Look at that. That's so far so good. So far so good. Right. Same thing again for the front half of the body. It's just your vineyard French silver wire. Trim a wee bit off, and as I say, as I do always, I'm going to keep the excess the same length as the front half of the fly. What we're doing by doing that is keeping the bulk of the body as uniform as you possibly can, and then the mother of pearl that I have left over from the rear half of the fly, I'm going to tie that on too, and again keep the excess the same length as the front half of the fly. Now, as you'll see there, I'm starting to form a taper there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the problem right now and just bulk the front end all that up with my tying silk. There we go, and then just begin to wrap your pearl tinsel. First couple of wraps is the most important because you want to conceal your tying silk. Now, you might not be able to see that there because my tying silk is white, but that has just slipped slightly, so I'm just going to come back and cover up the gaps. It's the best way to solve that problem. Just come back and cover up the gaps. Now, you'll notice that I have left a good 4 mil there anyway at the eye of the hook, and there's a good reason for that, because there is a wee bit of tying involved in the wing of this fly. Again, same thing again, 3 turns with your silver wire wrap. 1, 2, 3. 3's plenty. Oh, what there. I just caught that in time there, that slipped a wee bit. I'm going to come back. That just slipped ever so slightly there. So, there we go. 1. That's in fact, that's the second. 2. I'm going to tie that off that. Just a couple of more turns just to secure it. Come back on, trim your excess. Right. So far so good. Just fix that shortly. Right, now for the wing. The wing of the fly. The first part of the wing is a mixture of yellow and orange bucktail. So, and for the length of the wing, I'm wanting this to come about 2/3 of the way under the white bucktail tail. So about there, I'm happy with that. Again, pinch it in your finger and your thumb, form a loop between your finger and your thumb, and then pull it down securely over the bucktail. And then just a turn or two, just to hold it there before you lock it in place. And then once you're happy with the way it's sitting, which I am right there like that, just give it a couple of tightly wrapped turns, just so that it doesn't move. Come on with your scissors, locate, and trim. There I just missed a wee couple of fibres there. Same thing again as I done with the white. I'm going to apply just a couple of wee drops of super glue on the tying silk, and then I'm going to wind that super glue under the cut ends on the bucktail. And what it does, it just gives you maximum security on your cut ends. It means you know that's never going to pull out, never going to go anywhere. So there we are. So far so good. Now for the second part of the wing, I had it sitting there. There it is there. the second part of the wing as well. What I'm going to use is white Arctic fox with again 3 strands of krystal flash through it, and you want the fox to sit directly over the top and the exact same length as the yellow and orange bucktail. So, and around there, maybe slightly shorter. Let me see. Aye, there we go. That looks better. That looks much better. So pinch it in your finger and your thumb. Again, form a loop between your finger and your thumb with your tying silk and lock that in right down directly on top of the bucktail. Just have a look at it, check it. Now, if I had grey fox, that's what I'll be using, because the grey fox will add a lovely contrast to the fly, but I haven't got any, so I'm going with what I have, and I'm using the white. But if I had the grey, that's definitely what I'd be using. Same thing again. Couple of drops of super glue, and I'm going to wind that glue under the cut ends of the fox here. And at this stage, I'm just going to come down and I'm going to start to tidy up and prepare for the head of my fly and my final hackle on that. So there we are. So far so good. Now the final head hackle. It's again just a generic white hen cape. I'm going to show you. So what I mean is, whenever I'm exposing the top, so you expose the top of the hackle, right? Trim it to the length they sit, and then see these parts, this part right here, just trim away the fibres that you don't need. And what that does is it just reduces the bulk on the fly, reduces the bulk that you're building up in the head. So I'm going to catch that in on the side. There we go. Couple of turns just to secure it. Make sure you come right down the line with the fox. Come in, locate your excess, and trim it away. Same thing again. Get your scissors, run it up the stalk of the hackle, spread the fibres, wet your finger and your thumb. Hopefully you can see that, hopefully I'm not blocking it on you. So that's one. Make sure you're teasing all the fibres back, you're not catching any. That's two. I'm just going to do one more and then that's plenty. You don't want to overdress it. There we are. And that's three. I'm going to tie that off with that. I'm going to bring it round, catch it underneath, come up and over. That's that got on. Just another one, two. That's it secured. Come in, locate your excess, trim it away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tidy up the head area and get prepared for finishing off the fly. There we are. Look how good that looks so far. I'm quite happy with that. So really happy with that. So far so good. Now for the finishing touches. I'm going to put jungle cock cheeks on this fly. I'm going to tie one on my side, catch it in. 1, 2, 3, just to hold it, make sure it's in the right position that you want. I'm happy with that. Again, I'll add one on your side. Come over the top of the fly, and if you come over the top of it and look down, you're able to make sure that the jungle cock cheeks are the same length. Catch it on. Now, just 1, 2 to start with. Before you go any further, make sure you're happy with the alignment of the jungle cock. The way that it's sitting, make sure it matches up with the first one. There. And then lock it in. At this stage, pull the 2 stems of the jungle cock back, and then another couple of really tightly turned wraps. And then what you'll find is that you're able to, you can just break it away, but I like to come and trim it with scissors. And then that way, you know that you're not going to do any damage. Right, let me check that, right. And then just tidy the head area up, make everything nice and neat and uniform. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to whip finish the fly there. We're not done yet, but we're getting there. Just a couple of turns, whip finish. There we go. Trim that away. If you can see properly. Jesus. Right. I'm just going to apply the tiniest wee drop, just a super glue on the side, over the top, and on the side again. And now the head on this fly is a paired head. So what I'm thinking, I'm just taking more a pair of lurex, and I'm going to catch it on there. Sorry, I hope I'm not blocking your view. And then come down, covering your white tinsel just as you get to the halfway point. See your excess, you can trim that away. The super glue's holding it in place, so you don't need to worry about it slipping. And then just form a nice pearly head on the fly. Just gives the fly a beautiful finish, it really does. And again, it just adds to that performance of the fly as you're losing the light. Now what I'm going to come on and do, and this is the tricky part, is finishing with a pair of lurex. This is when the fly either gets made or broken. 1, 2, 3. So far so good. Keep everything tight. Pull it up. Moment of truth. There we go. We get away with it. Brilliant. So pull it tight. Trim that away, and then immediately come back on with your super glue again, and just super glue the head off. Super glue, totally cover that pair of lurex. Over the bottom, right round the top. There we go. Now that's the fly basically done. All I'm going to do after that, guys, is once that super glue dries, I'll add a coat of varnish, clear varnish, and let that dry. And once that dries, I'll add another coat of clear varnish. But there you have it, folks. That's the Varvara shrimp fly. strikingly beautiful fly to the eye. It really is. The colours and that. I love it. When I first got introduced to it, I just thought, wow, that's amazing. And as I say, this is one for whenever the light's fading in the rivers. This is what you want swimming in the water. So it is. Listen folks, thanks very much for watching the video. The growing support means the world to me, it really does. The channel's growing every single day, and if you haven't already folks, subscribe to the channel. The more you subscribe, then the more it allows me to do what I love doing, what I love sharing with time flies and fishing. So it does. And believe you me, plenty more patterns to come, trout patterns especially. Still a few salmon patterns to share with you yet, but aye, still a lot to come from us folks. So as I say, subscribe to the channel. Once again guys, thanks very much for watching the video. Until next time, tight lines.